One of the absolute biggest mistakes I see business owners make on YouTube is that they use YouTube Studios. They use the regular YouTube metrics to kind of measure what's working for them, but it just leads them down the wrong path. You have no clue if your content is making you money or if it's wasting your time. So what we're gonna do is I'll show you how to track what actually builds your business instead of chasing views and going viral and shit like that. So the thing is, with YouTube only shows you what benefits YouTube. So that's views, that's likes, that's watch time, because that's how YouTube makes money. So that's what they want their creators to follow. They want creators to follow getting more views, and that works if you're a content creator. But if you have a business using YouTube to get more sales, that doesn't work for you, because views doesn't equal revenue. Hey, I get it. Views, likes, and watch time is nice. It looks good, like having a lot of views, but zero of that pays your bills or actually increases your bottom line. And what that means is you are trying to optimize the wrong thing based on what YouTube tells you instead of what actually works for your business. So while you're sitting there in YouTube Studio watching your view count and how much time people spend on your video, Bob over there is actually focusing on the right thing. He's focusing on the metrics that's actually growing his business. How many people convert from being a viewer to actually buying his product or service or whatever the fuck Bob is selling over there. And what that means for Bob over there, Bob has a lot more time on his hands now, because he knows what kind of videos actually brings him money and what kind of videos he has to stay far away from. So I used to be the polar opposite of Bob over there. I used to focus on views, how many follows I got, how many replies I got, and stuff like that. But none of that really grew my business. And that was when I had my old business on Twitter, making content over there and trying to help people. And because the only metrics I had was what Twitter gave me, and keep in mind, Twitter only shows you what they are going to benefit from. That's engagement, that's views and shit like that. Just like YouTube. YouTube is only showing you what they benefit from. So I tried to build my business based on those metrics, and it just went bad for the first 8 months of me trying to grow a business. Okay, so let's take a look at what I changed that led me to having more success in my business. Okay, so first up, you gotta realize that you can't use any kind of platform to build your business on. It's just too much gamble in building your entire business just on one platform. They can take you down at any moment. What you can do is follow people from YouTube onto your email list. And your email list, keep in mind, that's yours. You own your email list. What's going on your email list is up to you. And what's going on YouTube is nothing you can control. You can only borrow YouTube to kind of grow your business. So you might be thinking, okay, email list, that sounds fine, but what's that really going to benefit me? What you get from an email list is a way of tracking what works and what really resonates with people. But what's really amazing here is that it's a way of tracking who's interested in your stuff. When someone joins your email list, they're saying, I want more of this. I want more of this. I'm interested in what you're having. And that's the real success metric. And YouTube doesn't measure that kind of metrics. And Seth Godin, if you know who Seth Godin is, I think he called this the permission assets. I think that's what he calls it. That's literally people giving you permissions to give them more. Like they're showing an interest in what you have to offer. So those are the people you know that have a higher likelihood of buying from you. So you're focusing on those people instead of just the people who are just watching your video. So how the hell do you actually track which video shows the most promise? So what you're going to do is create a simple URL tracking. I create unique links for each of my videos. So when I know people are clicking on a link, I can see that, okay, people are clicking on this link from this video over here. And that's what you want to be doing. And I think it took me like 1.5 hours to set it all up. And by the way, if you want a video on how to set this up so you can track it, just let me know down in the comments and I'll make a video about it. So what you want to be tracking to see what's actually growing your business is 3 things. Which videos are getting email signs up, which emails are getting replies, and which emails are turning subscribers into clients. So those are actually the metrics you want to be tracking if you're trying to grow a business and using YouTube as your marketing tool. Not necessarily views, how many subscribers you got, your click-through rate and stuff like that. It doesn't show you what's actually driving revenue and cash to your business. And those metrics are what you want to be focusing on. Of course, you can use the other metrics to kind of get an idea of what videos are working. And if you're just trying to grow Email subscribers, sure, just focus on those kind of metrics. But if you're trying to grow your business, I highly suggest you focus on the 3 metrics I just mentioned. And on your email list, here's what the 4 things are you want to be tracking. Total email signups, reply rate to emails, how many qualified leads or how many people are actually reaching out to you, showing interest in your offers, and how many of them are actually converting into clients. And then you want to be tracking videos. So to track what videos are working the best, you have to track your views, but in a ratio to how many email signups you're getting or how many clients you're getting from that video. So you don't have to just focus on views alone. You have to see what kind of views are those. Are they quality views? Then you have to focus on email signups from that video. And you have to focus on how many are actually turning into clients. And you have to track what videos are generating the most revenue. And you can only track that if you have some kind of offer to actually sell. But just if you have email signups, just shift that out with email signups. So if you already have clients, but you're not sure where exactly from which video or piece of content your client came from, you can always track backwards. Just talk to your best client, the ones you actually want to be working more with, those who are closest to your ideal client. You can ask them what video did they first watch where they actually signed up to your email or when they bought your product, and how much of content or how much time passed from them watching your first piece of content to them signing up or buying your product or service or whatever you're selling. And what this does is it solves a lot of headache. You don't have to be thinking about coming up with all new kinds of ideas for content, because now you have a good idea and understanding of what your audience actually want to be seeing more of. So you just create more content of that. But with all of these advice, you are most likely to come to run into some kind of problem. And these are some of the most common problem I've seen from the people who I've talked to and work with. So the first problem and most simple problem is that your tracking link doesn't work. And what most likely is the problem is that you have to double check your link and make sure to have no kind of weird spaces or weird characters. And you have to test every link before publishing. You can just click it yourself and make sure it goes where it should go. So problem number 2, I get email signups, but I don't get the people who actually want to be buying from me. So what you want to be looking at is what kind of content are you putting out there? Like what kind of clients are you attracting with that kind of content? And the way to measure that is just to send out, for example, a list of questions to ask how old they are, like get the demographic if that's what you're focusing on, how much money they're making, what kind of problem they're running into, what industry they're in, so you kind of get an idea of those people are actually closer to your ideal client or they're further away from it. So you need to match up your content, seeing what kind of people you're attracting with your content, because if you're attracting the wrong people from your content to your email sign up, you're just bloating up your email list and you're not getting sales from those people actually signing up. And all of that really boils down to you have to get extremely clear on what your content is about and who it is for and who it is not for. Problem number 3, your videos might be getting great YouTube metrics like views and click-through rate and watch time, but none of them actually convert into paying clients. Then ergo they're not growing your business. And again, that leads into what I said before, like you need to look at what kind of content you're putting out there and how aligned your content is across the board. If you're making content one day about surfing and the next day you are making content about being a bank investment kind of guy and how to get more money out of your money, then those things are not going to align, and you might be attracting people from the surfing onto your email list that don't want to be buying from you, but like your surfing stuff over here. So you need to be looking at your content and what kind of content you're putting out there. Also look at how you present your content in the beginning in your hook. Like, are you stating what the problem is you're solving in this video clearly enough? And are you making sure that the people watching it knows who this content is for? Like, if I am a surfer dude watching your video, do I know that this video is for a surfer dude? Or do I know that this video is for a guy who wants to make more money? Like, you need to be clear on who this content is for and who it is not for. Or it can simply be your title or your thumbnail. For example, I've written down 2 examples here. 5 productivity hacks anyone can use. Like, that's really broad and that can apply to almost anyone. So that will naturally attract a lot of people but you don't want to be attracting a lot of people. You want to be attracting the right people. So how can we frame that in a way that repels a lot of people, but are highly likely to attract the right people? 5 productivity systems for business owners making 100K plus. So there you actually state what it is. It's a productivity system. Who is it for? It's for business owners. And what kind of business owners? Business owners making 100 plus K a year. So that's a way to repel the wrong audience and attract the right audience. It can be as simple as that. So if you're seeing the wrong people sign up to your email list, have a look at your title, your thumbnail, and your intro to your videos. So what problem did we get to now? I lost count. Problem number 4, my conversion rate sucks. So when I work with people on Twitter, when they looked at their metrics from the content to how many converted from content to email signups, they said it sucked. But then we had a look and it was more like they had 2 to 5% email sign up from their content on Twitter. And that's actually pretty normal. That's actually good. So if you're expecting like 50%, that's just way out of the normal, unless you are an extraordinary person, which I believe you are. So if you have lower than 2 to 5% in your conversion rate, you have to take a look at for example, your call to action, where it's placed, and if it's clear enough what to do. Like we talked about before, a confused viewer is a viewer that's gone. So if they don't know what to do next, they're not going to do it. So problem number 5 is the people I've been working with, some of them feel overwhelmed with all this tracking. So what my advice to those people were, start simple. Just track email signups to a start. And then you can always go to tracking client leads and where they're coming from and when they are signing up for your course or you're buying a product or whatever it is. Just start simple. Start with one simple thing and make it into a habit to track it. So speaking of tracking, this video will drive some of you to my newsletter. I'll be watching those numbers to see how this video performs. So if you want a sneak peek behind the curtain of me building my business, that's where you'll find it. So click the link down below, somewhere down here.